Does Makoto need his 5-star weapon? This is a question I get all the time on stream, on videos, and the simplistic way of saying this is no. No, he doesn't. And inside today's video, I'm going to exactly try to explain why you don't really need this weapon. My name is Blade. As always, I do daily content on P5X as well as a few other games themselves here. And with this question, it's been pretty prominent inside the community. So we need to at least find out exactly why people are misunderstanding this weapon itself. Partially my fault, by the way, but let's get straight into it. Taking a look at Makoto Yuki's 4-star called the Translucent Blade, this weapon is actually fairly useful. It's able to, of course, do multiple things such as attack increase, party damage increase, and even the user damage increase as long as he's given out a buff, in which we're able to even more so evolve on this once we look at lefel.net as well. The blade itself increases your attack by 24% once it's fully maxed out, and of course when you do buff allies, it can not only increase your party damage, but increase it by 17.2%. It also helps out the user's damage by 17.2% as well, which can last a total of 2 whole turns. Now, you would think in some form and fashion that this definitely should work correctly, and you're actually correct about this. Now, where I got this wrong a long time ago as well, and I actually held on to this till about I think 2 to 3 weeks ago alongside an earphone IDOT, if you guys know who that is as well. We did think that this buff did not work on this weapon, right? We thought, of course, if you did not have this weapon, you could not really proc the way or the rotation from Makoto Yuki that you should be propping. Which on my end, I'm not gonna lie to you, that is my fault. I did not go and double check with this 4-star weapon itself, when in reality, it actually does work. And the reason that it works so much is because it's coming down to his skill 1 and his skill 2. Well, if you guys know how his skills do work yet, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't, so we're gonna take a little bit of a look-see back at lefel itself here. But he ends up giving himself a buff when he uses his skill 1. Now, if you go ahead and read Melodic Blaze here, he does fire damage equal to 1 foe by 59.8% of the attack's hit, and he gains a 2 moon phase stack for 2 turns. Now, whenever he does spend these said stacks, he gets something with Scarlet Divine Blaze, aka his skill 3, he increases his skill multiplier, meaning that skill multiplier is always going to be active. Pretty much all you have to know in a simplistic way is by going ahead and using his S1, it can then buff the S3 multiplier, meaning the S1 immediately procs the S3 no matter what. Therefore, the 4-star will be in full effect, which is something that I didn't notice until later on. And I'll be real with you guys, I probably should have noticed that ASAP. In fact, if you look at these 2 pieces of media on my screen in a second here, it's very obvious actually, in which I was not too sure about this. I was trying my hardest to kind of look into this a little bit more, but I ended up asking the man above all, which is Red Heart, and he also told me, yes, the weapon does work as long as, of course, you use the skill 1 into the skill 3, which is his natural rotation. As we can see here, whenever he buffs his allies, he increases the party damage, and then of course he increases the damage dealt. Well, once he used his skill 3, we then have a different picture. This different picture, obviously, you can see we get the Melodic Blaze, which acts as a buff, meaning we are taking a part of the 4-star weapon. Therefore, everybody is getting this lovely buff that we're getting here just from the Melodic Blaze, seeing that is finally active. Now, how did I mess this up? I have no flipping idea. I think it's just because it wasn't in my actual language, but still, I held on to it for a little too long and have been absolutely saying the wrong thing for quite some time until I ended up getting corrected about 3 weeks ago. So once again, I do apologize for that, but the 4-star weapon itself does work for Makoto Yuki. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you might want to skip this 5-star weapon. And I think the best way I can say it is the 5-star weapon absolutely just offers way too much to the table to really want to skip. But if we go ahead and take a look at the 5-star weapon, which is called Deus, I want to say this right. Scyphos, if I'm right about how the name is said, but I don't really think that's correct, but I think it's Scyphos, Dexcyphos here, in which if we go ahead and take a look at this one itself, it not only increases our attack related stats, but it also goes for crit rate and increasing his personal skill and 30 damage. Now this is all going to be based on certain stacks or buffs, which is going to be with the moon phase stacks that he does need, but it is insanely powerful. Seeing that we're always going to get our moon state, early moon phase stacks immediately from just the skill 1, skill 3 rotation, getting this buff is incredibly worth it. And having an extra amount of crit rate that you no longer have to calculate from other means such as Wonders Persona or anything of that nature, it helps Makoto crit a lot. This character needs a decent bit of crit, in which will allow him to get multiple instances of his damage on his skill 3 and skill 1. So this is always going to help you guys out with the damage that you do need. Of course, add that with the lovely increased damage from Persona skills and 30 damage itself, the character is going to deal a ton more damage than he would normally do with the 4-star weapon. All in all, when it does come down to it, here we are getting to the end of the video, and I gotta say, thank you guys firstly for watching and being an amazing audience as always. We've grown a lot when it comes down to P5X, and we're nearing the 20k mark, which is something I never even thought was going to be possible, especially when I first started doing this game. It's been great to be mostly a good source inside the community, and although I do get some things wrong here, none of you really hardcore like bash me on it, which is always a good thing in my eyes here. It's been a great time to be a part of this community itself, and I'm going to continue doing some crazy things in the future as well. Now, one of the few things I wanted to get out there and actually say regarding this video as well, Makoto Yuki will be the start of our build guides once again. I've been working on a lovely piece of a build guide here, and this has been something that I've been editing myself, which is kind of hard to do because I'm very new to editing. I'm very old school on some things here, so I love my long form content that's just plain out, no edits really here every now and again. Though I am trying something a little bit different, and with the new things that I'm learning from editing, hopefully you guys do find it very interesting. Makoto Yuki is going to be the start of this, and I'm also trying to cut down some of the time I do take on my said videos for the build guides themselves. Seeing sometimes they're around like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I'm trying to chop them down a little bit lower so it's pretty quick, has actual accurate information fully that you are looking for, and just gets on with your day. But for now, thank you guys for watching the video, and leave a comment down below. It really does mean a lot to the channel, and peace on out.